Sahar. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. My name is Caroline Obure, and I have the honor of being your moderator for this opening session. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to the third African Forum on Mining, convened under the theme, the Africa Mining Vision at 16. Achievements, challenges, and opportunities. Today, we gather to celebrate a significant milestone. He's also an expert in micro, small, and medium enterprises. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause and as we welcome Mr. Anthony Brand to the platform. Welcome, Mr. Brand.
Mrs. Ron Osman, Director, Industry, Minerals, Entrepreneurship and Tourism, African Union Commission. Mr. Gianluca Azzoni, Head of the Policy and Cooperation Section of the EU Delegation to the African Union. Mr. Matthias Nab, UNDP Regional Service Center. Dr. Marit Kitwa, Interim Director, AMDC. Distinguished moderator, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Danadirk. It is an extreme privilege and honor to be able to address you here today on behalf of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States and our new Secretary General, the Honorable Mr. Musa Selah Batraki. This is my second time in Addis, but the first time outside of the airport. So let me begin by expressing my extreme, sincere gratitude to the African Union and the African Minerals Development Center for their leadership in shaping Africa's mining future. My appreciation also goes to the European Union for its steadfast support and to all the distinguished delegates here today for your commitment to harnessing African mineral wealth for sustainable development. The Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, now known as the OACPS, formerly known as the ACP, was established by the Georgetown Agreement in 1975. We have offices, headquarters in Brussels, with satellite offices in Malabo and also Geneva. For 50 years, the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States has been a strong advocate for the sustainable development of its 79 members, the majority of which are in Africa. From the early days of the Lomé, Cotonou, and to the new Samoa Agreement signed with our main development partner, the European Union, in November 2023, we have worked to ensure that Africa's vast resources serve as a foundation for inclusive growth, industrialization, and economic transformation. This year marks a critical milestone for the OACPS in the mineral sector. Many of you in this room have played a pivotal role in crafting the OACPS position on critical raw materials, which was presented to the OACPS Ministerial Mining Meeting in May 2024 in Cameroon. And let me go on record by again extending our great appreciation to our brothers and sisters from Cameroon for hosting this momentous meeting. This position paper was later adopted by the OACPS Council of Ministers in July 2024, and the Ministerial Mining Meeting confirmed the strategic importance of CRM in driving Africa's economic diversification and industrialization. Building on the position paper, which has benefication as a main tenet, the OACPS is now implementing its CRM action plan, which includes the establishment of an institutional framework, including the establishment of an OACPS CRM knowledge hub and strengthening technical command of market trends in the area of minerals, enhancement of geostrategic engagement, including the establishment of an MOU template to guide members during their engagement and negotiation with various development partners and international institutions, and the strengthening of development policies in the area of CRM to leverage OACPS best practices to support development of national, regional CRM and the engagement of partners, for instance, the European Investment Bank, African Development Bank, and other development banks and financial institutions, to establish financing facilities to support investment in critical raw material value chains and address sustainability issues. This will be achieved through collaboration with development partners to strengthen environmental, social, and governance capabilities whilst forging partnerships with standard-setting bodies. As part of this effort, in February of this year, the OACPS launched the ACP EU Technical Assistance Facility on CRM, funded by the European Union and implemented by the European Investment Bank. This 10 million euro 5-year program will support the enabling, preparation, and implementation of CRM-related investment projects, as well as providing targeted technical support to help OACPS member states unlock opportunities in the CRM sector, strengthen governance, and attract responsible investment. As an organization, the OACPS remains firmly committed to working alongside the African Union to ensure that Africa's mining sector is not only competitive, but is also socially and environmentally responsible. To achieve this, we must mobilize resources and expand partnerships. This aligns with the OACPS's revised private sector development strategy, formulated in 2023, which calls for greater engagement with investors, financial institutions, and development partners to drive sustainable growth in the minerals sector. One of the key pillars of our work in the mining sector has been the ACP EU Development Minerals Program, which is now in its third phase. This program, which is implemented by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has played a vital role in supporting artisanal and small-scale miners across Africa, improving skills, enhancing livelihoods, and promoting responsible mining practices. We are also pleased to say that some of the main beneficiaries of this program have been women and youth. Through this initiative, the OACPS has also strengthened its collaboration with the African Minerals Development Center, which is ensuring alignment with the African mining vision. As we engage discussions over the next few days, let's focus on practical solutions and concrete collaborations. The OACPS stands ready to work with all stakeholders, governments, the private sector, development partners, and local communities, amongst others, to transform Africa's mineral wealth into lasting prosperity. I wish us all a successful forum. Thank you. Amase Galalum.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Brand. Amase Gelano, to you too. Distinguished guests, our next speaker is a leader. He's the head of Policy and Cooperation Section at the European Union Delegation to the African Union. With a round of applause, please join me in welcoming Mr. Gianluca Azzoni.
Thank you, Director Osman, UNDP Director Matthias Nab, the Interim Director of the African Mineral Development Center, Marit Quito, and Mr. Anthony Brand, representing the Organization of the African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, representatives of the mining sector, private sector, academia, non-governmental organizations, development partners, and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to represent the European Union delegation to the African Union today. Let me first congratulate the organizers of this important forum, which provides a unique opportunity to take stock of progress in the implementation of the Africa mining vision, discuss challenges and opportunities, and chart a path for the next decade. I'm delighted to discuss the vital role of mining in the development of our respective continents. The European Union's partnership with Africa is founded on mutual respect, trust, and a shared vision for a sustainable future. Over the past 25 years, since the landmark African Union-European Union Summit in Cairo, we have fostered a strategic continent-to-continent relationship. In 2021, the European Union developed the Global Gateway Africa-Europe Investment Package, which is a comprehensive initiative aimed at mobilizing at least 150 billion euros in investment by 2027 to support sustainable development in Africa. The package's objectives and priorities align seamlessly with the African Union's Agenda 2063. The package was announced at the 2022 African Union-European Union Summit in Brussels, during which both sides reaffirmed in their joint vision for 2030 their commitment to supporting industrialization in Africa and the development of sustainable and resilient value and supply chains. We have now reached a critical juncture where the global order is undergoing significant transformations. In light of these challenges, it is imperative that the Global Gateway Africa-Europe Investment Package transitions from its initial phase to a full-scale implementation, from startup to scale-up. To illustrate this, I would like to highlight a few examples. The European Union has established bilateral partnerships with a number of African countries to promote sustainable raw material value chains, with an additional 10 partnerships in place with countries worldwide. These partnerships support local value creation while ensuring the EU's secure, sustainable, and resilient access to critical raw materials. In implementing these partnerships, we are guided by the highest environmental, social, and governance standards to ensure long-term benefits for local communities and partner countries. In addition to these bilateral endeavors, the European Union is committed to supporting good governance, transparency, and social protection in the critical raw materials value chain. Globally, the European Union adheres to and supports initiatives such as the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiatives, of which it is the larger donor. In Africa, we strengthen governance frameworks and technical capacities through instruments such as the PANAF-GEO Plus program. The PANAF-GEO Plus program is an exemplary model of Africa-Europe collaboration, yielding tangible impacts and mutual benefits. By training African geoscientists in core areas such as natural resource management, responsible mining, and environmental protection, the program contributes to increasing African-owned geological knowledge and skills for sustainable mineral exploitation and related infrastructure, and for natural disaster prevention and mitigation. Lastly, the European Union is proud to provide institutional support to the African Minerals Development Center, which aims to ensure that African countries maximize returns from extractive industries and safeguard the continent's strategic interests. In this regard, I would like to extend our congratulations to Dr. Quito and the team on obtaining the final endorsement for the Green Minerals Strategy at the 38th African Union Summit. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we convene today, the announcement of the first clean trade and investment partnership between the European Union and the government of South Africa is still fresh. This partnership aims to secure raw materials, clean energy, and clean technologies for Europe's green transition, while offering South Africa an attractive financial package to consolidate cooperation in areas such as science and technology, education, climate action, peace and security, health, and critical minerals. This will be the first of the next generation deals concluded under the Africa-Europe Investment Package and a model for subsequent agreements with other countries. So let me conclude by saying that we do look forward to further strengthening our cooperation on the implementation of the African mining vision. And of course, I wish you fruitful discussions and deliberations over the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Azoni. Distinguished guests, our next speaker is also a leader known for his strategic vision and commitment to development across Africa. His wealth of experience in fostering sustainable progress within the mining sector. Please join me in welcoming the Director of UNDP Regional Service Center of Africa, Mr. Matthias Nab.
I'm not sure about the strategic part. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen, let me recognize my sister, Mrs. Osman, Director, Industry, Minerals, Entrepreneurship, and Tourism of the African Union. I also like to recognize Mr. Gianluca Azoni, Head of Policy, Cooperation, section of the EU delegation to the AU, my dear brother Anthony Brandt from the OSCPS, and my very own sister Marit Kitao, who has been shepherding this institution for the last 2.5+ years. It is my honor to welcome you to the third African Forum on Mining hosted here at the African Union Commission headquarters in Addis Ababa. And for those of you coming from outside Addis, I'm sure you already know how to say salamno. Salamno. Thank you. That means, how are you? Today we gather under the theme, the Africa Mining Vision at 16, Achievements, Challenges, and Opportunities. 16 years ago, the African Mining Vision was adopted as a transformative blueprint for our continent's mineral resources. It envisioned a future where Africa's mineral wealth would no longer be seen as a curse, but as a catalyst for broad-based socioeconomic development, industrialization, and environmental sustainability. As we reflect on this journey, we celebrate the progress made. Let us confront the challenges that remain and explore the opportunities that lie ahead in a rapidly evolving global landscape. Over the past 16 years, the AMV has achieved significant milestones. The establishment of the African Minerals Development Center, AMDC, in 2013 marked a pivotal step in operationalizing the AMV. Through its work, the AMDC has supported member states in developing policies, strengthening governance frameworks, and promoting sustainable mining practices. These achievements are a testament to the collective efforts of governments, regional economic communities, private sector players, and development partners. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the long-standing partnership between the African Union and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP. UNDP has been a steadfast ally in advancing the AMV agenda. Through this support, a letter of agreement has been signed with the AUC in 2018 to operationalize the AMDC, resulting in co-sponsoring and co-organizing the first edition of the Africa Forum on Mining, held in December 2019, in my own country, the Gold Coast, now Ghana, with more than 200 participants attending. The African Union, AFDB, and UNDP came together to organize the first forum, which put the AMV at the center of continental-level debate and facilitated the adoption for structural economic transformation of the continent based on its vast mineral wealth. UNDP then subsequently supported the transition of AMDC from its first phase when it was hosted by UNECA and co-funded by Australia and Canada. As a direct result of that forum, a new AMV action plan and the AMDC strategic business plan were subsequently developed by AMDC with support of UNDP. These instruments guided our concerted efforts to operationalize the AMDC in its current form. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the European Union and the Organization for African, Caribbean, and Pacific States for their partnership, on the basis of which EU has been providing the core financial support for AMDC through UNDP, without which none of the achievements of the AMDC that we are witnessing today would have been possible. In fact, European Union support allowed to crowd in further resources from other partners in support of AMDC, including from EU's other funding windows aligned to the Global Gateway Team Europe Technical Assistance Facility to support AFCFTA and continental economic integration, and via EU member states, Spain and France. In the same vein, I want to also acknowledge the instrumental role of other AMDC strategic partners, such as the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the AFDB, Afrexim Bank, regional economic communities, AUDA, NEPAD, and civil society organizations, as they spared no effort to collaborate and implement joint initiatives with the center. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we look forward to continuing this partnership as we work together for a brighter future for Africa. I also acknowledge the Open Society Foundation, which has made the Third Africa Forum on Mining possible, with support from the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, International IDEA. Ladies and gentlemen, under the core institutional support, the AMDC has been re-established in 2022, hosted by the AUC in these very headquarters, with 4 regular staff headed by the interim director, Dr. Marit Kitao. As soon as COVID subsided, AMDC organized the second Africa Mining Forum to bring together the Africa mining and development community. Today, we are opening the third Africa Forum on mining, where we will hear about the achievements and outreach of AMDC and see the partnerships built and leveraged by AMDC for delivering its mandate across the continent. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen, AMDC in this current phase has been instrumental in advancing the key continental agendas, in particular the most recent African Green Mineral Strategy. These initiatives are critical in ensuring that Africa's mineral resources contribute to sustainable development and inclusive growth. AMDC has advanced harmonization of geological and mineral information systems across the continent to ensure that decision makers manage mineral resources in a coherent manner and build linkages between African capital markets to attract investment. It helps strengthen the role and visibility of artisanal and small-scale mining, where initiatives have empowered artisanal and small-scale mining actors, particularly women in gemstone and jewelry value chains. AMDC advocated for Africa's mineral development and mineral-based industrialization agenda in the global fora, in particular the panel on critical energy transition minerals of the UN Secretary General. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, despite these successes, challenges remain. Many African countries continue to grapple with issues such as weak governance structures that hinder equitable benefit sharing, environmental degradation caused by unsustainable mining practices, limited capacity to leverage mineral resources for industrialization and value addition, illicit financial flows who deprive our economies of much-needed resources, and extensive informality in mining, which leaves people and communities behind. The global shift, as spoken about by my colleague who spoke earlier, toward a green energy transition and digital economy acceleration presents tremendous opportunities for growth, industrialization, and infrastructure building in Africa. And the aforementioned green mineral strategy is the framework to guide this green growth. Africa's minerals are strategic for its development and critical for the global economy and industrialization and infrastructure building in Africa. While supplying minerals to the green transition, Africa needs to ensure that this demand translates into tangible benefits for our people, fostering inclusive and sustainable growth at home. The AMV cannot be realized in isolation. It requires the collective efforts of governments, the private sector, civil society, and regional organizations. Partnerships are key to addressing the complex challenges facing the mining sector and unlocking its full potential. Indeed, a coalition of the willing. I urge all stakeholders to use this forum as an opportunity to share knowledge and best practices, identify innovative solutions to persistent challenges, and to strengthen our partnerships that will drive the AMV's implementation forward. In closing, despite new and emerging challenges, the Africa Mining Vision is even more relevant today as it was 16 years ago. It is a call to action for all of us to ensure that Africa's mineral wealth becomes a cornerstone for long-term development and prosperity. Let us use this forum to reflect, collaborate, and innovate. Together, we can build a mining sector that is not only economically viable, but also socially inclusive and environmentally sustainable. UNDP, as a strategic partner for the AMDC, stands ready to support the AUC and work closely with partners to further develop the center into a full-fledged specialized agency for minerals development on the continent. Thank you for your commitment to this vision, and I wish you all fruitful deliberations. Amaseginalo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthias. Let us use this forum to collaborate and innovate. And now to officially welcome us to this forum, the Africa Forum on Mining. We are honored to hear from the driving force behind industry, minerals, entrepreneurship, and tourism across this continent. It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Ron Osman, Director, IMET at the Department of Economic Development, Tourism, Trade, Industry, and Mining at the African Union. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Let me double my eyes. Mr. Matthias Nab, Director, UNDP Regional Service Center. John Luca from the European Union delegation, and Mr. Anthony Brand, ORCP. My sister, Dr. Marit Kito, Interim Director, AMDC. I would also like to recognize my dear sister, Dr. Amani Asfour, President of the African Business Council, but also my brother, Frank Mugeni, from Madi now, but one of the fathers of the AMV and the AMDC. I can see a lot of brothers and sisters, Cherry, Rokaya. I cannot call all of you by your name, but I'm very happy that you all made the time and the efforts to join us in this important meeting for Africa holds the key to the world's ambitions for a just energy transition. Our continent is endowed with an unparalleled abundance of critical green minerals, from cobalt, lithium, and rare earth elements to nickel and copper. These resources are vital not only for advancing renewable energy technologies and electric mobility, but also for industrializing and moving up the value chains toward manufacturing and local processing of minerals, while also ensuring global energy security and meeting climate goals. However, the challenge lies in transforming this potential into equitable, sustainable growth for Africa while contributing to global progress. Indeed, it's the realization that Africa was not fully benefiting from its minerals for its people's prosperity is exactly what inspired the Africa Mining Vision 16 years ago, and it's also at the heart of the Africa Green Mineral Strategy, which was just adopted by the Africa Union Executive Council in February 2025, a few days back. The African Green Minerals Strategy is an initiative aligned with the principle of the Africa Mining Vision and the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. This strategy underscores Africa's commitment to harnessing its green minerals for the benefit of its peoples, fostering sustainable development while supporting the global green energy transition. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on this forum, it's essential to reflect on our achievement over the past years. The African Union Commission has played a pivotal role in driving Africa's mining agenda forward, making significant strides in policy development, governance, and enhancing the mineral-based industrialization process, from strengthening geological and information system to improving the inclusivity of the sector through the active involvement of women and youth. We have witnessed positive shifts. Our AMDC team will make a dedicated presentation on the work that has been done. While we have made progress, there are still significant challenges that need to be addressed. Member states need to ratify the status of the AMDC to enable it to pursue its mandate. While 15 ratifications are required for AMDC to become a fully fledged specialized agency, there are currently only 4 ratifications and 12 signatures. There needs to be a momentum building toward the ratification of the AMDC statutes, and there are also persistent challenges hindering the full realization of the AMV goals. This includes issues related to governance, skills, technology, research, development and innovation, inadequate infrastructure and energy, as well as lack of financial resources. During our discussion, let us dedicate time to analyze these persistent challenges and identifying innovative ways to overcome them. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we also stand at the threshold of a great opportunity, the global shift in the energy landscape, particularly the green energy transition, present and unique moment for Africa to leverage its rich mineral resources for sustainable development. This forum will be critical in exploring the ways in which we can harness opportunities in value addition, technological innovation, and the growing demand for critical green minerals. Together, we must navigate this transition with foresight and strategy, ensuring that Africa's mining sector is positioned as a key player in the global economy of tomorrow. Equally important is the need to foster greater collaboration among all stakeholders, government, private sector players, civil society organizations, and regional entities must work together to promote sustainable resource governance, strengthen regional partnership, and ensure that Africa's mineral wealth benefit its people from generations to come. This forum is a platform for forging and strengthening these essential partnerships. As we look ahead, the outcomes of this forum will be critical in shaping the trajectory of Africa's mining sector. We seek practical recommendations to address the challenges we face, and we look forward for forming partnerships that will drive sustainable mineral resources development across our continent. In closing, I urge all of us to approach these discussions with open mind, a spirit of collaboration, and a shared commitment to build a brighter, more sustainable future for Africa's mining sector. Let us work together to turn challenges into opportunities and opportunities into tangible progress for our communities and our nations. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the team of the AMDC that put tremendous efforts to make this happen and to make it a successful event. I would like also to thank the UNDP for the support to the AUC through the AMDC, but also the European Union, the OSCP, and the Open Society Foundation. I would like to thank all of you that came and contributed in any manner to the success of this event, and I would like to wish all of us fruitful discussion and a successful forum. I declare the forum open.
Thank you very much, Madam Ron. May I request for another round of applause for all our speakers, please? Ladies and gentlemen, from all the speeches we have had, there were key buzzwords: collaboration, partnerships, innovation, and all that. And that just reminds us that, as they say, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you very much to our dear speakers. At this point, we invite all participants to join us for a group photo right in front of the famous Nelson Mandela Plenary Hall, followed by a 15 to 30-minute health break. Please return promptly in 30 minutes as we continue with a keynote address presentation from Dr. Marit Kitao, the Interim Director of the AMDC, as well as the AMDC team on different thematic areas of the program. I thank you. I have announced the photo. Yeah, for everyone. We have announced.
So you then?
I have announced the photo. We are going to Nelson Mandela.
For the 4, for the 5.
They've already